Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Yappin Blueshirts. My name is Anthony. I'm with my co-host Tyler. We'll be recapping the Rangers today.
Oh
Tyler, how
yeah,
you doing?
I'm doing all right. And how are you today?
I'm doing all right, man. Great win tonight.
Very, very, very. We're gonna be posting new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Try our best for 1 o'clock, and yeah, we're gonna try to have fun with the podcast, and we're gonna see where it goes. Alrighty. Starting with today's game, good 4-1 win for the Rangers. Lafreniere getting his second, Carter with the third, Riley Smith with his first as a New York Ranger, and Mika Zibanejad. And what did you think of the game tonight?
I thought it was a great game. I think the boys played well all three periods. I like the way Shesterkin played. A lot of power plays given up. A lot of power plays the Rangers got to capitalize on one of them. Thought they played pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. The power kill definitely. Going back from the last game to Utah, definitely was a lot better. The Rangers giving up 2 goals in the first period against Utah was not it. I'll tell you that. That was kind of a
Not at
big
all.
start for the kind of the fall of it. That game was really rough, kind of making a lot of mistakes. Cleaned it up a lot better against Detroit, I thought, today.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And I think all this stuff, a lot of it goes to Igor Shesterkin. He gave up 5 or 6 against Utah.
Yeah.
End up bouncing back tonight uh, with only one goal given up. Very nice to see bounce back from him.
Yeah, definitely. 31 saves out of 32. And then that's tracking back also to the first game that they played, shutting out the Penguins with 31 saves, 31, making a good amount of saves, good hard pressure from the Penguins to start off the season. But Rangers absolutely kind of came back the other way. Lafreniere also been looking pretty good. There are a lot of players we're
Yes.
going to talk about today. But starting with today's game, the first period, kind of a little bit of a slow start. I thought they kind of started a little slow, but then they kind of picked it up. They got the goal of who was it? Lafreniere with the beauty.
Great shot.
Beautiful, beautiful pass from Panarin, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. And it's a great way to start a game because you're at home. You want to come out, you want to put on a show. That's a way to do it. Great start to the game.
Yeah, I agree. Especially kind of coming back from the loss to Utah. It was a tough loss
It
coming out
was.
to the Garden for season opener, losing in overtime 6-5. Like I said, kind of bouncing back a little bit for Detroit. Like I said though before, Rangers kind of coming back with Lafreniere getting the goal, but late in that first period, kind of giving up the last with like a buzzer beater shot from Dylan Larkin. Held it really well. I said to you earlier, and I said looked like a fox pass. Fox loved to kind of trail on that right side a little bit, or that left side, and kind of just throw a little pass into the center, kind of find someone for a quick stick, and that was Dylan Larkin right there. I don't know who fed the pass, but it was a great hold from them.
It
Uh,
was. And
Caught the
it,
Rangers defense
oh,
sleeping a little bit. Sorry.
they're good.
Keep going.
Oh, yeah. Great way to catch him at the end of the period. Tied it up. Something you don't like to see, especially at the end of the period. And
Yeah.
yeah,
You had a lot of bodies in front. Rangers had 4 players in front and just no one covering them. Victor Mancini kind of caught lacking a little bit, kind of, puck watching a little bit. And then I believe you had Panarin kind of in that slot, covering that slot. I don't know who was up top, but just sloppy mistake to make at the end of the first. Not really kind of what you like to see.
yeah, no, most definitely.
But going into the second period, I was not able to watch most of the second. I was on the move. So, Ant, you picked up on the power play goal. How was that? I didn't really get
Yeah,
to
no,
catch up on that.
that power play was really good. Swinging the puck well. The boys look very clean. Nice feed from Panarin to Mika. Mika right to Kreider's stick in front of the net, tipped it right in. And it was what we know from Chris Kreider and what we know he could do, especially from the pass from Mika.
Yeah, down low, Crowder's deadly down there. Playoffs, everybody kind of knows. Everyone kind of calls him tapping merchant a little bit, but dude, he gets the job done, gets his stat pad a little bit. It's all right. Gets you a goal, but the Rangers do really well on the power play. It's kind of what it seems, especially against Detroit. I thought they played really well, moving the puck around, even against Utah. They keep possession of the puck, and it's a different team that you see from last year in the playoffs. They looked scared last year. Kind of coming into this year, they look really on top of crap, kind of moving the puck pretty well, especially like I said in the power play. They're finding it in the zone and they're moving it really well, making that 2 minutes work. It was a one power play, I think it was in the first, but they kept that Detroit defense on there for a while and just kind of made them look tired.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Things we like to see is even though we know the power play is deadly, the 5-on-5 play. We know last year, especially in the playoffs, kind of went dead for a bit. This year, only 3 games, small sample size, but I think they look very clean on the 5-on-5 play. I really like to see it.
Yeah, especially kind of that first game. All their goals kind of come from 5-on-5, except the one shorthanded goal, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Kreider's.
Yep.
good to see for them, especially 5-on-5 play has been a very, very tough kind of play for us in the past 3, 4 years, I'd say. Kind of coming up to last year. Last year was like, all right, you kind of have to see if you go 5-on-5, especially coming off that bad loss from the Devils. It was
Yeah.
great to see a good 5-on-5 play, like you said.
Hmm?
Now, going into the third period, though, I thought the Rangers played amazing. They had a really good defensive period from kind of minutes 10 to 3. They really didn't let too many shots. Riley Smith picking up his first of the season, like I said. Mika Zibanejad, he didn't really have that great of a game against Utah with a -4, but he came back tonight with a 3-point night. And he's been really good on faceoffs. And what people really kind of didn't really see within Utah, at one point he was 13-2 in faceoffs.
Wow.
I mean, which is very good, especially that the Rangers been a team that really can't win too many faceoffs until they got Vinny Trocheck and Mika kind of getting really in those faceoffs, but created a goal. I mean, that's kind of what you like to see, another 3-point night out of Mika. And I believe there was a stat, he's one of the 10th people in history to do that within a 3-game like start.
And then also continuing into the third period and just the whole game, the Ranger defense looked very, very sharp, very aggressive on the puck, forcing turnovers, playing aggressive, getting the interceptions. I thought they looked very good today, only giving up one goal and being very strong on the forecheck. And even that last goal took them a while for them to knock it in
Yeah.
there, get in the back of the net, passed
Yeah,
it
but
around, had some struggles.
yeah, I
gotta
could have
gotta go.
thought it was going back to Igor at one point. He was gonna take the shot, dude. No one was putting it in the back of the net. It was funny though. Mika grabs a goal though, first this season, a little grease. Well, how you doing?
Hey, gotta
You
take
know,
what you can.
oh, for sure. But also going back to the first period, I thought that third line played pretty well. They started the second period out there, but they're moving the puck. I know Capo was kind of battling in the corner a little bit. He'd win it to faceoffs, and they look good.
Yeah,
So
no, I actually like the way the third line has played all three games. I thought they played really sharp together and they're building some good chemistry.
yeah, so hopefully they can kind of take all that, kind of just push it Thursday in Detroit, go on a 3-game road trip. Who they will be playing? Detroit Thursday. I know it's Toronto and that's Montreal. We know
Yeah,
Toronto, so we can see Toronto is going to be a good game against
yep.
Austin Matthews, Nylander. See a couple of those guys. It'll be a good one.
It'll be
It's a
most
test,
definitely.
a really good early season test for them. Montreal is also not going to be too bad. I don't know if I think Patrick Laine's hurt still. I believe he's
Oof.
out for a little bit, so that's a low blow for them. But I don't know. Cole Caulfield's low key been lining it up for them too. So a good road trip. We'll see. It's a good little road trip we'll have. But going on to Utah, though, I mean, we can track back a game. The Rangers, I thought, played really good. It was just a lot of mistakes. I mean, there's just kind of Keandre Miller, I thought, didn't really have so much of a great of a game. I'm gonna be a little controversial with that, but like even going back to last season when you want to go to Florida, there's two chances. I believe it was game 4, I want to say. Panthers were home. He tried to clear the puck twice and ends up kind of turning it down the other way. One of those being a power play goal. But even against Clayton Keller's first goal, and then even in OT, a lot of people could say that was Mika's fault, but kind of Clayton Keller kind of swung around the net really freely, really, really freely. Mika obviously should have picked it up. Mika did not have the greatest game, but uh, yeah, I mean, then the open net miss. There's just a lot of mistakes that happened that game.
Yeah, it was. I didn't think it was the cleanest game. The mistakes, they'll clean them up. Keandre Miller, young player, got a lot of love, gets a lot of flack sometimes. I think he's a young player. He'll be all right. But things you don't like to see.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, going back into the Utah game though, they had a really good comeback game. They fought. Utah also had a good start with 2-0, made us 3-0. Devils kind of made them pay a little bit today with 3-0 win. But a good young team that they have.
Yeah, no, most definitely. They were the Coyotes. They went in there. They had a pretty
The Yotes.
were the Yotes.
The Yotes. Oh, I miss the Yotes.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
You
But
know,
with
oh, you go.
no, you got whatever you're gonna say.
I was say they I thought they came in this game firing. They've been hot and they came out scoring, man. It was a crazy. I mean, just things you don't like to see from Igor. Things you don't see common or
Yeah.
from Igor, giving up 5, 6 goals. Don't the things you don't like to see.
It's also the defense, though. Defense was definitely off a little bit. Jacob Trooper was also a -4 that game. Did not really look too good. He did have a good first game. I thought he had a good game tonight against Detroit. He had a couple big hits, made himself kind of look known. When Jacob Trouba's on, he's on. But when he's missing, he's missing. It sucks because when he's missing, he's hurting the team. It's a weird standpoint, and especially I know how kind of the offseason kind of was. A lot of people thought Jacob Trouba was going to go,
Yeah,
but didn't end up being the case. We could see a weird trade deadline maybe this year, not just with Jacob, but just a whole reimburse with the team, especially with that Igor contract that he wants 12 million for. So it's gonna be a weird one. So jumping from that Utah game though, kind of talk about overall player performance. I watched a little bit of the preseason too, some games I could catch, but Victor Mancini has been a kid to watch out for this New York Rangers team. First period, the Detroit game, he made a beautiful move between two defenders to make himself an option to get a shot on net or even get a pass across the net. Kid skates really well. He looks good out there. He looks comfortable. He's filling Ryan Lindgren's shoes, I think, pretty well right now. Obviously, not being that top pair with Fox, but even with Zach Jones has been having a decent season. He's guarding the puck a lot well, looks a lot more comfortable out there than when he has been. And it's something that you really kind of want to see out of this team, especially, Zach Jones being that six-man option, um, with, kind of losing Eric Gustafsson over this offseason. So it's good to see those two young kids kind of come out and play their hockey. And Victor Mancini, like I said, he looks comfortable.
I know, most definitely. Another thing about Mancini in that first regular season game with the Penguins kind of showed up to Sidney Crosby a little bit. Sidney Crosby's messing with Igor, came in there, gave him a nice little shove. And things you like to see. Like to see
Yeah.
these aggressive defensemen. He looks solid. I like Zach Jones a lot. Also like Braden Schneider a lot. He's been doing his thing, did his thing pretty well
Hmm.
last year. Like the way he played. Good to see more. Would love to see more from him.
Yeah. Braden Schneider going back to him, but he had a beautiful goal against Utah. I don't know if you saw it, but he came in really well, guarded the puck, and got a quick shot on net, and ended up tying. I think it was tying up or making the Rangers within one, or no, the Keandre Miller goal I think was within one. I'm not too exactly sure when that time goal was, but it was a beautiful goal. Braden Schneider, he has for a defender has a really good wrister, so uh, just love to see him just keep shooting the puck in those opportunities when he can. A lot of Rangers depth in that defense. I'll tell you that. A lot of people that could attack the net. Keandre Miller being one of those. Adam Fox obviously being one of those, getting a lot of assists, a couple goals in there. Jacob Trouba even grabbed 2 assists from the first night. So Rangers defense, it lacks, but when it's on, it's on. Like I said, it's kind of like that team where it's like they look good to start the season, especially last year. They opened up really well. But then kind of when it comes to that loss, like that postseason, they seem a little lost out there. So that's kind of what you don't really want to see more towards the end of the season, but pray that they could just keep playing the way they're playing.
These teams start hot and then they really burn out. And that's what it is. They burn
Mhm.
out and then they run out of gas, get caught, especially in the playoffs to a Florida Panthers team that ended up winning the Stanley Cup. And they were unbelievable.
I mean, the Panthers were a great team. They had a lot of depth to their team. You can kind of just see it. The Rangers just getting outworked, outshot every single game, relying a lot on Igor, which is not really kind of what you want to see. But he wants the contract, and respectfully, he kind of deserves it. Especially there. I mean, I just don't really see the Rangers really being that much of a team without Igor. Obviously, you have Artemi Panarin who put up a 120-point season. You have Laugh breaking out. Vinny T, who's also been great. But besides that, the Rangers defense mistakes are kind of giving up a lot of shots. But what they're doing really well, like I said, they're forechecking a lot of well, stopping a lot of passes. They had a lot of good force turnovers tonight. So yeah, I mean, it's just kind of what you want to see from them.
Now going into Artemi Panarin, another hard start from things we love to see coming off a great season.
Mhm.
Stats says he had 3 assists night tonight, and he's the fourth player in Rangers history to record multiple points in 3 straight games to start the season. The most recent would be Chris Kreider in 2016, 2017. So a
Yeah.
while back, and things we love to see from Artemi.
Yeah, I mean not too far back. That's a recent Chris Kreider, fourth player in history though. But it's another great start you want to see from Artemi Panarin, especially for this Ranger team. He really kind of took him under the freaking wing last year. Him and Igor, obviously that second line kind of lighting everything up, but Hopefully you can see another 100-point season out of Artemi Panarin this season because he's a huge part of that Rangers offense. I mean, putting 3 assists in tonight, 2 points prior, 2 points the prior, and it's just a great start again. Now, obviously, it's really kind of affecting that second line with Lafreniere getting 2 goals, two beauties. I mean, his first goal was a beauty, a beauty.
His impact, especially on the second line, really boosting those two guys up is
Mhm.
great to see. And hopefully now a big breakout for Alexi Lafreniere, number one pick a couple years back, waiting for the big point season. Hopefully, it'll be this one coming up.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see a 70-point season out of him. A nice 30-goal season out of Lafreniere would be beautiful. Beautiful. I think it's very doable though. 2 goals already within the first 3 games of the season, and he looks comfortable. He's striding well. He's taking a good amount of shots. He's taking a lot of one-on-ones. Uh, just kind of what you want to see out of your number one pick out of your, development at this point. On the other hand, Capo Caco though, still kind of struggling. He looks good with the puck. He just can't find the points with it.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle for him. Can't find the points, can't score. It's been rough. I think him and Hedo have a pretty nice connection though on the third line. Maybe luck starts to fall for Capo. We're still
Yeah.
rooting for him. Wasn't a big trade talks, the deadline in the off season. Nothing ended up happening. We'll see what happens moving forward for him.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, kind of when you talk about the trade deadline, talk about everything kind of the Rangers done because Drury has made a lot of moves within years, even with the trade deadline, off season. Really didn't make too many at the trade deadline. Obviously, acquiring a couple guys just kind of didn't really work out. Obviously, in the Rangers' favor. Uh, Definitely could have picked up Jake Etzel or someone in the offseason. You had Tarasenko as an option. Rangers were looking to trade for Patty Kane, possibly for Jacob Trouba. I just didn't see that working out though. I mean, Patty Kane, obviously, he looked good tonight, like I said, but we had an injured Patty Kane. Unfortunately, couldn't see the full potential in on Broadway and in the jungle. But uh, like I said, Drury just kind of is not really making the moves like he was in prior seasons. Like I said, picking up Tarasenko and picking up Kane. Kind of had the chance to do that this offseason, even in the trade deadline. Kind of just really didn't make the moves for it.
Yeah, very disappointing. A lot of things Ranger fans were not excited about. The acquisitions they end up getting end up being lackluster, end up leaving after a season. Didn't really produce that much. So a bit of a loss and kind of a bad look on Chris Drury.
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers obviously had an amazing season last year, having 56 wins, being the most wins in a franchise history for the Rangers. But nothing to show for it. No cup. You had President's Trophy, but kind of like I said, it kind of fell apart. It seems like Peter Laviolette also got a little bit out coached. You had a lot of Rangers playing over 20 minutes in that game seven, even in that game six. And I think that's kind of where Edmonton fell to Florida too. I mean, Florida just had great depth in the team everywhere there was a guy that had a goal, had a name on him, you know. They just had a great team overall. But going back to the deadline, kind of see what the Rangers kind of do up this upcoming. Obviously, we're only 3 games in, but stuff that you have to talk about, especially with the Shesterkin contract and wanting 12 mil, and then kind of seeing what Alexi Lafreniere's contract's going to look like. It's just a lot to cover within the season.
Talking about contracts, Jacob Trouba, his contract's huge. Rangers taking a big cap hit with him. Try to move him over to the off season, looking at Detroit, looking at some other teams. Nothing ended up obviously happening. Still the
Ottawa
Rangers
being one of
captain.
those.
Mm-hmm. Still the Rangers captain. And yeah, we'll see what happens with them.
Now, going off what Ant said, though, I mean, you kind of really, a lot of people thought Jacob Trouba was off and out at this off season, but ended up not being the deal. Um, Second game, like we talked about earlier, that -4 kind of really killed him just to not have a good game. But like I said, when he shows, he shows, but when he doesn't, he hurts us. So it's a weird spot that we're in for Jacob Trouba. But like I said, Barclay Goodrow also, that contract being moved out, that was a lot of cap space, and the cap space going up a good amount of money this year. So, we'll see kind of how contracts play out. Hopefully the Rangers can agree with something with Igor. I think it's gonna look a little something like 11 million. 11 million, probably 950,000. I think he will be the top paid player. His camp believes that he's the best player on the Rangers, and you could definitely argue that between him and Panarin. I mean, he's a brick wall back there. Igor's a Vezina trophy winner. I mean, He looks great in the playoffs. He shows up. Unlike a lot of the Rangers stars, I mean, Artemi Panarin also looking good. I mean, looking pretty bad in the playoffs. Mika Zibanejad, Kreider kind of no showing a little bit. It's stuff you don't really want to see.
Yeah. And hopefully this playoff, presumably the Rangers will make it obviously way in the future, but hopefully guys still have the heart, still, don't try and burn out as much as they did last year and
Yeah.
maybe try and make that cup run.
Already. And how many points do you think Artemi Panarin's scoring this year?
I don't know. He
Nice.
coming off a monster season, MVP candidate. He was a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And what did he put up last year? Almost 120 points.
122.
122. I think he could go around the
Record high.
same there. Maybe anywhere from 120 to 125. He nearly put up 50 goals. I don't know if I get there again. That's a crazy number for him. And
I mean, he is
what
the
about
Apple
yourself?
guy. I mean, I think Artemi Panarin scores anywhere from 110 and 120. I'm kind of leaning more towards that like a 112 to 117 range for him, but it's very doable. I mean, 7 points through the last 3 games. I mean, it's a crazy start. Like I said, it means a lot to the Rangers too because he's really kind of getting that offense going with Lafreniere and Vinny Trocheck. Vinny Trocheck also another huge piece of that Rangers, especially in that power play one line. Gets a good amount of shots. Everyone moves the puck pretty well. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And with his line mate, Lexi Lafreniere, where do you have his prediction to be? What do you think how many points he's gonna end up with?
I said it earlier. I think he gets a 70-point season. I'm hoping a 30-goal season out of Lafreniere. That'd be huge, especially for his resume. Uh, but then it kind of stands out what contract he looks like. Is it an 8x8? It looks like. I don't know. That's a big contract for Lafreniere, especially only coming off. I mean, obviously it's a breakout season for him, but 50 points again in 8x8. I don't know. It's a little steep for me. But
Yeah.
he's well worth it. It's definitely well worth it, especially if he ends up playing out how good he really could be and the potential that he shows. We'll see.
Going on to the center of that second line, Vincent Trocheck, Tyler. What do you have in store for him? What do you think's gonna happen?
I mean, Vinny T's coming off a great last season for a Ranger. He had a lot of heart kind of in that playoffs. He was definitely a main guy with Barkley, Goodrow, Igor Shesterkin, and Lafreniere. Vinny T, I'm hoping, I think I predicted an 81-point season for him. I think he gets up there more. He had 70, I don't know the exact number. I didn't look it up. I want to say 76, 77 points last year. I think he tops that. I mean, a lot of heart for New York. He's in a great pickup that ever since he's came into the team, winning faceoffs. Um, yeah, I think Vinny T is gonna stand pretty well with that line. He's kind of just gonna do his thing, like I said in that power play one. So, what do you think, Cap?
Yeah, no, I'm around the same page as you. I think he's gonna have a better season than last year. We love what he did in the playoffs. Showed up incredibly clutch against even Carolina, those overtime games, big
Mm-hmm.
wins, stealing those. And
Mm-hmm.
then in Florida as well, played a pretty good game. Oh, well, pretty great series. And yeah, I could say anywhere from 80 to 85 points for him. That'll be great to see.
No, definitely, definitely, definitely. Now going to the first line now. Kreider coming off a 39 goal season. You know, Kreider gets to the net a lot. We talked about. How many goals do we think Kreider? Predictions.
Let's see. Around 39 last year. He's still a great. Gonna go down as a Ranger great. Trying to get him
Yeah.
that cup. But I think anywhere, maybe like 36, 37 goals. Not like a complete fall off, but I think some goals will end up back in net for him.
I think it's a little weird when it kind of comes to Kreider and Mika right now because they've don't really have so much chemistry within that first line pair. I mean, obviously them two are great together, but I'm saying now that you have Riley Smith in there, it's just been kind of a different first line transition. They looked at Capo last year of a first liner. Kind of really wasn't working out. Capo goes down with an injury early in the season a little bit. Um, then, they kind of went to uh who did they go to after that for a little bit?
Before Jack Roslovic,
Oh, it was, Blake Wheeler.
Blake Wheeler to start the season.
But then Blake Wheeler goes down with another injury. He goes down with a torn ACL. So it's kind of a weird standpoint. So it kind of really depends on where, how Mika and Riley Smith and Kreider kind of link up. It was Booch a while ago. Looking to get Booch back, that last trade deadline would have been nice because of that chemistry. Even talking about Trevor Zegras too. There was just a lot of talks. Obviously, we talked about the trade talks before, but kind of just coming into mind now, it's just talk about. But yeah, I mean, I think Kreider can. I think you're right. I think kind of it could slow down a little bit. But if Riley Smith, Mika, and Kreider really do find that, I think you see Kreider with another 40 goal season. But we'll see. Yeah, I think you're kind of right though. I think he kind of sits at 35. But like I said, Riley Smith has never really played on the first line, so we'll see how he kind of does. Go winning a good face off to get Riley Smith that puck and just get a good wrister to the net and getting a goal for him. So we'll see. We'll see. Hmm.
Now, going on to Mika's advantage, Ed. Kind of a down year for him. We expect a lot from Mika. New York, we love Mika. We love everything he did. Ended up with only 26 goals last year. A low, things we don't like to see. We expect more. And what do you have in store for him this season?
Like I said, it really all comes down to Riley Smith, but Mika Zibanejad needs to have a better season. That -4 yesterday was not great, but him picking up 3 points tonight is a great win for the Rangers. When, like I said, Mika plays well, that Rangers offense is going. That first line is buzzing. But I don't know. I'm hoping to see a 30 goal season out of Mika. Hopefully, seeing a lot of assists to Kreider down low. Hopefully, helping for that 40 point. I don't really know too much about Riley Smith except that 40 point season that he had within that 76 games last year. But we'll see with Mika. We'll really see. It's kind of make or break right now because this Ranger team is not getting any younger. They're only getting older. So cup run has to be soon if you really want to get there. Everything you got right now.
Yep.
Going to Riley Smith now. Like I said, really don't know too much about him except for 40 goal season. I believed he played on, I want to say, the second or third line of Pittsburgh. Not exactly sure. But Rangers have to be under something in their sleeve for them to pick him up on the first line, or if it was kind of, kind of just like the leftovers a little bit. I don't know. I don't really know what Chris Drury's kind of had in mind for that. But kind of what do you think about, kind of Riley Smith kind of starting with the first goal today, though?
Yeah, it's a great start for him, and I hope playing on the first line with Mika and Kreider, two guys that have great chemistry together, will only boost his game, and we'll get to see hopefully a career year for him. I don't know.
Yeah, I
See what
mean,
happens.
you kind of saw it with Panarin with the career year, kind of that new line. Um, like you said, you kind of hope Riley Smith, had 40 points last season. Being on the first line, hope we touch 60, 70 with him. Like I said, it really kind of all depends where it kind of is at with Mika and Kreider. If Mika wants to play his game, if he kind of wants to stay that kind of slow that he seems more afraid of the puck right now. I feel like he's just not attacking. He doesn't look like Mika Zibanejad skating out there.
Yeah, he really doesn't. And I feel like, I mean, hopefully they'll pick it up. We've been, last year we really wanted it. It never happened. We love Mika May. We love Mika March. Didn't end up producing that much at all during that. And the postseason didn't do much either. But hey, got to believe in the boys and they'll hopefully rally for us.
Yeah, going to the third line though, we kind of have that younger kind of aspect with Philip Hudel, Capo, and Will Coley. Will Coley's absolutely been a beast. I mean, we saw him 2 years ago, kind of play a couple games in the league. I think he had 4 starts, maybe. But then him coming up last year, being that physical aspect, you saw him run over Utah's goalie yesterday for that goalie interference. It was a funny one, but I didn't really think it was a penalty. I mean, he kind of had his head down. Player kind of ran into him. The goalie kind of just plopped right in and we came out the crease. But like I said, Will Coley's a big dude, big physical hockey player. So um yeah, Will Coley, I'm expecting hopefully a little bit of numbers, playing on that third line, hopefully get 30 points, 40 points at least.
Yeah, no, that would be a great number for him. Last year, physical guy, like you said, he actually led rookies in hits last year. Going on play on that fourth
Yeah.
line for a bit, I think, maybe a bit of a third line as well.
Mostly
Eh,
a third.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mostly on the third, and hopefully we'll keep on seeing it from him. He's a physical guy. He wins the puck over. He's hustling. He's skating hard. Things you like to see. Hopefully that also elevate Heedle and Kako's game.
Yeah, definitely with Heedle too. Kind of wanted to see Heedle not break it in a million pieces and have a healthy season for him because he's a great player. He plays hard, he gets good shots, he creates great opportunities to the net, good draw. Um, you kind of just want to see Heedle healthy for the season. Definitely not another concussion. So with Heedle, I'm hoping at least a 30-point season, 40-point season. 30's kind of low balling it, I feel like for Hedo, but definitely kind of want to get into those double digits, high double digits with goals, more like 20, hopefully. I don't know. I don't know kind of where you stand at Hedo because he's, like I said, coming really off injury.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. And what thing people say in the world of sports is the best availability. No, the best ability is availability. And when Hedo's on the ice, he produces. We've seen that with the kid line 2022, the clutch goals he's had.
Hmm.
Uh, we expect a lot from Hedo. We hope he's healthy. Hope he's going out there, still playing hard, still scoring goals, and yeah, see where he can go.
Yeah, one thing you didn't really like to see is him going down in that preseason game, that first preseason game. Scary sight. Anytime Hedo goes down, he goes to the locker room. You're like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
Like, it's something you just never want to see, especially with Ryan Lindgren and Artemi Panarin getting injured within those preseasons. But going on to Capo Caco, though, what do you want to see out of Caco? I just, I
yeah,
don't know. It's just a tough talk, though, because, you can't really ask so much from him when you're throwing him on third line.
yeah.
But
Yeah, the Rangers ended up trying to use him in the first line last year. I mean, didn't end up seeing much. Now in the third line, now he was the second overall pick, one behind Jack Hughes, a guy that would have been very nice to have. He's obviously a star on the Devils, and I don't know,
definitely.
he's having trouble scoring, having trouble. He's playing a bit of a physical game now, but not really showing up on the stat sheet. But hopefully, we'll see something for him.
Kako's presence is there though for sure. I think he possesses the puck, holds it well, creates great opportunities, especially like I said in the game tonight. He had a couple good opportunities to the net, and that's why the third line kind of came out to start that second period. But like you said, you tried him on the first line. It's just like he just doesn't seem comfortable out there. His game is getting there, but you kind of want to see him drive the net a little bit more, get a couple more shots in and not kind of find that back of the net kind of in a weird way. I feel like most of his goals, me and Ant joke about all the time, is it's greasy goals that he scores. But it's true. It's true. Most of the time it's a freaking open net. It's some crazy crap you don't usually
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
But going on to that fourth line though, could be a lot of variation. You have Johnny Brodinski in there, you have Edstrom in there, you have Rempe in there, Sam Carnac that you picked up over the offseason, him getting the first Ranger goal of the season, actually to start off in Pittsburgh. Interesting, but it was a great deflection. Good shot from Jacob Trouba to get his first assist of the season also. Um, Adam Edstrom is someone who I definitely would like to talk about a lot because he was the rookie of the year for the Rangers for the preseason and camp. So you're definitely going to see him up there. He's a big physical dude, 2 inches smaller than Rempe. Makes his presence known, drives the net, gets pucks in the net. Scored in the I believe what game was it that he scored in? I believe it was a preseason game, right?
yeah. One of the preseasons game, he got himself one.
Yeah, and then Victor Mancini also with two, like who we'll also talk about. But yeah, I mean that fourth line, I like it. Rempe had a lot of off-season work with Jonathan Quick and Chris Kreider, living with Jonathan Quick most of it. But he looks a lot faster too. There's just a good variation that you have. Two big dudes, or you got Johnny Brodinski, who could also get to the net and score. And then you also have Jimmy Vesey, who will be coming off injury.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see what the Rangers are doing with the fourth line. Obviously, filtering in and out these guys. I really like what Edstrom brings, though. Big physical guy, like you said. And having him and Rimpey up there, it's like having a front court in the NBA. Two tall, big guys skating at you, running at you, being physical. Things you'd love to see.
Yeah, I believe I saw a stat because Sam Karak is 6 foot. Rempe, I believe, is 6'7". Adam Enstrom being 6'5" or 6'6". Their average height is obviously like 6'4", 250 pounds. It's it's scary to go against those two guys, like, especially with Rempe. Rempe's big physical dude, makes his presence known. When he's on the ice, you hear that MSG crowd going crazy for him. And also Sam Carnac dropping the mitts last game, and same thing with Adam Edstrom getting thrown out. Unfortunate, but it was good to see. It's good to see.
It was most definitely. And the thing with
Sh
Rempe,
no good.
yeah, the thing with Rempe, obviously MSG, we love Rempe around here. Problem last year was one like his skating wasn't like the greatest skater, kind of like I don't know, like hunched over when he's skating around. wasn't the strongest skater, and just like stick handling and all that kind of stuff. But when he gets that big hit, especially in MSG, the crowd roars and everyone screams for him.
Yeah, like you said though, like he's a young kid. It's just a lot of work that he has to his game, and hopefully he can get up there and kind of be a daily fourth liner, or even possibly get on a third eventually. But I mean, we'll see kind of how it goes with Rempe. But yeah, big young kid. Kind of going on to our defense, so you gotta have Adam Fox up there. We'll start with Adam Fox. What do you want to see out of Adam Fox this year, Ant?
Yeah, well, we know what Adam Fox brings. He won the Norris Trophy a couple of years back. He's one of the best defensemen in the whole NHL. He's a great player. We love Adam Fox.
Hmm.
And just keep on doing a lot of what he's doing. Obviously, doesn't have his buddy Ryan Lindgren with him right now. He'll be back soon, hopefully. But
Yeah.
he's still going to do Adam Fox things on the power play one, producing, diming, just being a nice playmaker out there, and could even get himself a goal here and there.
Yeah, 100%. I'd like to see another Norris Trophy winner out of Adam Fox, especially off the season that he came up last year. A little bit of injury last year, but came back really hot, getting a lot of assists, getting a couple shots to the net, getting a goal or two every so often. But um, hopefully, you kind of see another breakout season for Adam Fox when he has a couple of points in his name right now with a couple of assists. So it's great to see. Going with Ryan Lindgren, obviously not being here, but another big not a big dude, but definitely a physical aspect is there. Um, a great pair for Fox, obviously. The stat shows Ryan Lindgren is just a better pair with Fox usually. Now going to Ryan Lindgren, obviously Fox's usual pair, obviously being injured right now, but his presence shows too. Not a big dude, but a physical dude. He has a lot of heart for that team. He'll put his body on the line and he shows it every single playoffs, dude. He takes a puck to the face. He's out there 2 minutes later out there with Fox, but he has his jaw bleeding and has some gauze in his mouth.
Yeah, no, we love Lindy. Everyone loves Lindgren. It feels like he's always the guy unfortunately that gets hurt, gets hit, whatever it is. It's always him. Always ends up being him.
He always ends up taking the bad shot of it, the worst end of it.
Hmm.
It's funny, but he's a fighter. That's all you can really say for him. Definitely a fighter.
Yes.
Yeah, but going on to Keandre Miller though, I think we picked up a little bit of Keandre Miller before, but there's just been a lot of little mistakes that I've seen in his game, and I can't really get behind it. He moves the puck in beautifully. Same thing with Fox. But you kind of have those players like we talked about before, Victor Mancini and Zach Jones, who are kind of really starting to find their game that could also do that. But, kind of without the mistakes. Victor Mancini didn't have that great of a game. He had a couple turnovers, even in the Rangers zone, I kind of picked up on, but we'll touch on him later. Go back to Kendrick Miller, going back to the Utah game, but he had that open miss shot. Kind of really could have put the Rangers in front, or tied the game. One of the two. I forgot exactly what it was. No, with the open net miss though with Keandre Miller, I mean that, and then like I said, the Clayton Keller goal. It's kind of just like it's mistakes that we've seen last season. We need to pick them up, and it needs to be better here on out.
It most definitely does. And hopefully he will. He's a young defenseman, but just mistakes that you don't want to see. And I sure if you ask Keandre Miller, I mean, I don't think he'd like to hear these mistakes he's making. He wouldn't be very fond of it. And hopefully clean up his game. Young defenseman has a nice shot, gets a couple goals every season. And yeah, good young
Yeah,
player.
100%. Going on to Jacob Trouba though. What do you want to see out of Trouba this season?
Yeah, so we kind of talked about him a little bit earlier, and I don't really know. It's kind of hard to say. He is the Rangers captain. We know he gets the big hit sometimes, runs into a nice one, nice clean hit. Nice like to see. Had a good start to this season. For the most part, the game against the Penguins looks pretty solid, and I don't really know. It's gonna be a weird one for him.
I kind of just want to see a captain for the Rangers. I think that's just where the Rangers kind of lack right now. It's just you need someone who's going to be there for the team, represent the team, especially with the helmet throw 2 years ago. After that, they turned it on after that. Yeah, I want to see a captain role out of Jacob Trouba. I want him to prove that he deserves to be on this team. I don't want to trade him at the deadline at this point if he's going to be playing a well game, but if he's going to continue to hurt us more than help us at this point, then it's like we're out.
Yeah, and we've seen that in the playoffs. A lot of costly penalties, the trippings, or whatever the case may be. We've seen him hurt us. We've seen him help us, but it's been really on and off for the Rangers captain.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to game six where he missed the hit and then it kind of turned into a goal. I mean, not for nothing. They're saying he was playing on, I think, broken ankle, whatever, crazy. But whatever it is, you're playing on it or not, we can't, you still just can't really make those mistakes. Going to Braden Schneider now. Braden Schneider, young kid, young kid. I believe he's 22, 23 years old. Uh, just want him to play his game. He looks good out there already. He's skating well. Like I said, back to goal in Utah, against Utah. Beautiful little draw in, kind of quick little wrister, uh, pad side. So, Braden Schneider, another kid that you kind of got to watch out for. A little bit of a sneak, especially with him and Zach Jones not being on the same line. He's now with Truba, like we said. Keandre Miller no longer with Truba. So it's a good switch for him. Kind of have someone that could shoot, and then you have a big guy that can enforce behind him. Braden Schneider also has some size on him. So uh, quick young player who could shoot. I think he's a good pair with Truba, though, for sure.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. I'm a huge fan of Braden Schneider. I think he is hopefully a nice long career with the Rangers going moving forward. I think he's a nice shot. I think he buried a goal in preseason. Might have maybe against the Devils, just
He
ripped
did.
one, and it was
He
a
did.
beauty. So keep that stuff up. The defense looking good. A lot of people compare him to Jacob Trouba, call him a young Trouba. He's fighting, he's fierce, nice hits, and
Hmm.
hopefully he could keep on expanding his nice young career.
Yeah, 100%. Even going tracking back to the 2021 season, when the Rangers made their little run against Tampa Bay, the Penguins in Carolina when he was number 45. He's a young kid, but he's making his appearance. He's making himself look big. He's going for these hits. He's not scared of the puck. He's playing his game. And he looks well out there. He looks comfortable.
That's most definitely.
So going to the third line of the Rangers, obviously Zach Jones, Victor Mancini. We're not going to really take too long with this because we kind of talked about them a little bit. Victor Mancini, I think he looks great right now. I think he looks good. He's skating well. He looks comfortable. Like we said, we made that first great move. Preseason bagged two beautiful goals. And he just looks so slick. He looks natural out there.
It does. And it's kind of like, going to the preseason, maybe if you follow the, anything that's going on with the Wolfpack and stuff like that. But it's like, comes on the scene, it's like, who's this Victor Mancini kid? And he comes out and he has been playing very well. And I like to see him up with the Rangers and he's been producing.
Yeah, 100%, especially with the absence of Ryan Lindgren. Him and Zach Jones kind of filling those roles, going to Zach Jones now. Zach Jones has picked up his game, I think, a good amount. I mean, he looked really scared these last 2 years. I think he's kind of coming to that understanding where he's kind of maturing a little bit more. You don't need to be scared. Play your game. Play your game. Get your shots to the net. Get the passes moving. Young kid behind you with you. You both are kind of going through the same kind of thing. It's your first kind of couple NHL games. Live it. Play your game. Yeah. So I think that's gonna wrap up today's episode, right, App?
Yeah, I think so.
All
Thank you
right.
everybody for tuning in. Follow the YouTube, follow the TikTok, follow the Instagram, Yappin Blueshirts on all platforms. Make sure to drop a follow. We appreciate it a ton.
Of course. For the first episode, obviously it's been a little weird. It's a little late out tonight. So hopefully the next episode will be a little bit more enthusiastic, be a little bit more into it. And yeah, we'll see everyone for the next one.
Alrighty.